Hi everyone, this is Hilde Larsen calling from Norway on this beautiful day, stepping into your life live if you're here, willing and you'll let me to talk about a very serious topic. Real talk about who's running your life really, who's in charge really, and when are we going to grow up? It's an interesting topic. And it's a topic that kind of entangles into every part of our life. Think about it. Every time you have a thought, an idea of what you can't or cannot do, somebody or something gave you that idea to begin with. Something that you've experienced or some authority, and we'll talk about authority, some which you see as authority, said or did something that you adapted into a truth. So every time you make a decision, is it really yours? Where does it come from? Is it peer pressure? Is it old beliefs? Do you think that you can't? Oh, you can't just do that? I started challenging myself. I started asking myself, and it started, of course, when I was so sick. Why wouldn't it? Why aren't more people asking this question is what I ask now. Now, we're 2021. Why aren't more people stepping up saying, whoa, where am I getting my ideas from? Who decides what in my life? What authority do I have over my life? And how does it affect my life? You know, I was so sick. And I was told I could never walk regularly again. I was told that the life that I have now was impossible. I was told by authority. It reflected back to me in everything that I could see. And why was that? Because it was reflecting what most people believe. And we're used to believing what most people believe. And I'm thinking, okay, so if we're believing what most people believe, so that puts our limitations into most people's limitations, which we know they're a lot. There's a lot of limitation. Have you heard around? Have you heard people when they see trouble? We're not focused on solutions that much. We're focused on being victims of everything that goes on around us. And this is the trap. We're living from the inside out, not from the outside in. I'm sorry. And this is not the first time I'm saying this. We're living from the outside in. Why? Because we're so afraid of authority. And authority could be anything. I'm not talking about government necessarily. That's not the authority. I'm talking about whatever you give away your power to is something you see as an authority. It could be your husband. It could be your children. It could be a friend. It could be a coworker. It could be a boss. It could be a doctor. It could be a lawyer. It could be a guru, someone you're following. You could be giving away your power and you're becoming a follower. That's not a grown-up adult action. That's not living from the inside out. That's not living in sync with who you really are. Look at all the options. Look at all the possibilities. Look at the infinite potentials that are out there. And with what society is reflecting back to us right now, there are and never will be a better time than to step in and up and from the inside out, saying, okay, so this is my life. What does it mean? What does it mean? Well, this is what it means. It means if you're not healthy, take charge of your health. If your finances aren't up and running, take charge of that. If your relationship isn't working, take charge of that. This is what I mean about growing up. It's about stepping away from the old notion that we have to make it or break it with whatever we can see around us. That would mean that I would never feel better. Why? Nobody around me changed their diet. Nobody around me went into growing, the way that I needed to. With the exception of a couple of friends that came into my life, that walked with me, there was no one. that supported what I was doing through doing it themselves. So what I could see on the outside had nothing to do with what I was changing, because I realized this was me. This was my life, and I had to create it. And this is what I think is important that we understand. During the time that we're living in right now, we're being called forth to become fierce, wild, authentic women and beings. We need to start walking from what we want, what we see possible. We cannot try to fit in to the old anymore. How can you grow into your amazingness and then try to fit into a hole, into a dark hole? How can you grow with your light and your wings and your complete ability and then try to have everything the way that it was? See, that's the thing. Walking forward in this time has nothing to do with walking back to how things were. We don't want things back to how things were. Why? Because it hurt. For a lot of us, if you're listening to this, most likely it hurt. Maybe your health hurt. Maybe, and I mean physical health, maybe your emotional health or your spiritual health hurt. We can never walk back, and neither would we. And you're not here to fit in. You're really not here to fit in to anything. Every person you see are only that. Other people like you, needing to take charge of their own life, living out their own beliefs. It has nothing to do with you. It's none of your business. This was big for me to realize, that it was actually none of my business, because that took it back to my ego. It took me back to that good girl that wanted to please everyone. Like, how could I do what I wanted? How could I just fiercely move forward and say, I don't care about this. I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to do it my way. And we're not talking about doing it your way that would hurt anyone else. That's a given. We're never going to hurt anyone by doing it our way, as long as it comes from the heart. And it's pretty self-centered to think that everybody else in our life, their life also revolves around us. So if I do this and they'll be so sad, I'll ruin their life. Or if they're abusers or narcissists or anything else, then they should be able to just do their thing around us, because poor them, if not, how would they get their fix? Or maybe if I change my diet and I decide I'm going to do better, I'm going to start meditating, I'm going to start a new practice, I'm going to spend money investing in me, or I'm going to spend time investing in me, and I'm going to be happy, the happiest person I ever met. That's going to be me. And I don't care if I was abused. I don't care what happened in my past. And I don't mean I don't see you. If this is you, I don't mean I don't hear you. I get that. Believe me. What I'm saying is, it's up to you to allow it to color your life, to be another thing on the outside that you have to adjust to. Oh, I can't be that happy. That terrible thing happened to me. You can do whatever you want. And I was going to say, as long as it's coming from you. You can follow someone also. Of course, you can give away your authority. You can give away everything. You can suffer. That is your choice. But I want you to know that it's a choice. That's the thing. I want you to understand that it actually is a choice, and that your life will be completely different when you're living it from you. What does it look like from your point of view? Because that's what it's all about. If you say, this ain't okay, it ain't okay. It doesn't matter what other people think. It doesn't matter if they're not coming from that place where this hurts for them. You don't have to explain You don't have to make other people understand. You only have to bring out your authentic expression and live it. If you love to paint, paint. If you love to dance, dance. If you love to sing, sing. If you love to be in nature, be in nature. If you love to do yoga, do yoga. And if there's something you wanted to do as a child and somebody told you you couldn't, do it. And if you've been diagnosed with a disease or anything that people say you can't get over this, you can't do this, do it anyway. If you're afraid to step up, to step out, to commit, do it anyway. Look into your fears. What am I afraid of? You know what? When I talk to my clients, and this gets me so excited, when I talk to my clients, about, I would say 95% of where the fear is coming from when I talk to them, it's what other people think. Or what they have been told about themselves and started to believe. And a lot of beliefs, we don't even know it's there. But let me tell you something. If you're sabotaging yourself, if you know what could change your health, if you know which program could change your health, if you know the investment that you need to do to step it up and become a better version of you in any way, shape, or form, if you know what to do and you're still not doing it, that's called procrastinating through self-sabotage in my book. This ain't acceptable for us anymore, the way I see it. Why would we throw away an amazing life, sabotage ourselves, like being prisoners, invisible prisoners? Invisible meaning you can't see the prison is there, and the invisible prisons are much. They hurt in a completely different way than a physical prison. A physical prison is like a no-brainer. You see you're in prison, the bars are there, you can't go anywhere. That's done, right? Nobody's wondering about that. But the invisible prison, nobody can see it. You can't even see it, but you can feel it. But it would be hard even to know that it's there or how to get out of it. And this is what I will teach you. This is what I can teach you. This is one of my strengths as a coach. This is what we do. We make sure that you find that fierce, wild, authentic, empowered being within you. Break free from that prison. Take charge. Grow up. Leave everything else behind. Become the best version of you. Because ultimately that's what we all want, right? On any given day of the week, we want to be happy. We want to create happy, and happy comes from feeling free. It's hard to be happy when you're in prison. Even though you can do that. You can also do that. But the emotional prison that you don't even know is there, not easy. I've been there. I've been there. And the darkness that we can walk through, everything we've been holding on to, the emotional detox, the world that we see on the outside, we're also living on the inside. You see that crap going on right now? How do you think we feel? How do you think it makes people feel? Most people. Look around. Suffering. There's a lot of suffering. We need to take charge of this. We need to change this. We need to change our emotions. We need to shift our mindset. We need to move forward differently. We need to move forward differently than we walked into this. You get that message? We need to move forward differently than we walked into this. Okay, so thank you for listening to my rant today. This was a little bit of what I call real talk about being you. Create life from where you are, the way you want. Set healthy boundaries. Don't care as much about what people think. They have their own lives to live. Don't give a shit so much about stuff. Doesn't matter really. What matters is you and your closest, be it biological family, other family. This is what it's about, and about what you love to do. Spread your joy to the world. Spread your shine to the world. And I heard a quote, and I can't even remember where I heard it, because I'm listening to a lot of books, and it was, about shining your light so that your brothers and sisters can find you. So if you want like-minded people to show up in your life, shine your light and join the groups where the like-minded souls, sisters and brothers can find you. Namaste. I love you so much. And I hope that moving forward, you go into you and you figure out, what is it that I want? I want. What is it that you want? Not what you think everybody else wants you to want. Not what you thought you wanted. You have to look at what feels good. And not what's doable. It doesn't have to be doable. You can say, oh, I want to express myself through painting. Or I want to have an amazing health because I always wanted to be able to bicycle around the country. Those are beautiful things. And I could say, go for that. That wouldn't mean that you'd be able to live off of your paintings within the next month, or necessarily bicycle around the country even within the next 6 months if you're bedridden. But you start going. You start going and you listen to no one except those that can support you in the direction that you're walking. So if they're not going in that direction, then you need to see towards those who are. Because that's what you're creating. You're no longer living your life as a sufferer and a reflection of what's going on your outside. What you can change comes from the inside of you. And that is true power. It's so powerful that you're the only one with that key. The only one you have been waiting for. Is it easy? Hell no. Does it have to be easy? No. Growth is in the struggle. And me, I'm like, if something feels hard, I know I hit gold. And then I explore, because I know that's where the fun and growth is. So, happy days, my friends. Cheers with my orange juice. As always, I love you.